Yo, hey everybody, how's it going? Um, I have some things that I like to talk about, and the first thing that I like to talk about is you have to realize that we are like farm animals. And to see that, you recognize that a lot of people out there get EBT. Now, you look at the definition of stamp, it's food stamp, you know, bring your foot down, it's the type of mentality. So when they say food stamp, I feel that it should have something uh, far more appreciative sounding towards the masses. I think it should be like food morale. Food morale. I think that would be a really nice, unbiased way of saying we appreciate you all. And I honestly think that if these dry docks that are swabbing our names on the parlays, if they truly were confident with the way they are, they would take it to the streets, right? They would be promoting themselves on the streets as in groups. But what happens if they're not in their comfort zone and they leave the space where they're comfortable talking about the things that make them happy all the time? Would they be able to keep themselves from having the white spirit possess them and acting explosive when they don't get their way and being dangerous like gunpowder? Being explosive like gunpowder, white spirit being explosive like gunpowder? Let me just emphasize on that so you all start realizing how much domain this thing that loves to piss and shit on itself so much, but it doesn't really know or mind the stink because it's so infused with itself of all the things that it's killed in breeding. That's right. And I can literally see it right now in my eyes, closing my eyes, smirking and smiling, and it always has a clone of my brother. It has a clone of things that I don't know why. I'm just like, why does it have a clone of my brother? And it looks pissed right now. I'm not gonna lie. It looks angry. And it's mad and shaking its head no. So you have to realize that the white spirit is manipulating a lot of angels and demons. And you gotta wonder, how would these creatures act if all of them had white eyes, right? Let's just say they all had white eyes. And they bring in one with orange eyes. How would they react on that? Would they think that one thinks they're better than them because they have a mindset, a beehive mentality? Could you even really trust something like that who looks at you like you're a threat? And then you say, okay, well, then if they think it's an issue, if they honestly think me being in here with orange eyes is an issue, then we'll just take it. We'll take it to the authorities. We'll take it because I don't trust you. Why would I trust you? You're already acting like a bunch of wasps or bees with the beehive mentality, acting explosive because you're not getting your way. So you got to really start recognizing how insufferable and insane they are when they're stuck in the same inbred thinking and the third person talking in the third degree. And they're really rude to not step outside themselves when they're supposed to be doing their job in the first place. They're not supposed to be adding another quote, giving their opinion when their job doesn't, specify that they're not allowed to give their opinion. You can make a complaint, but if you're not making a complaint, then you're just trying to bully. So you have to pick and choose what you're going to do. You can't have double standards on your opinion. Now you're acting like a platoon. Not knowing what the hell you want when you don't know what to do. And now you're a fidgety brat that's starting to unfold. Because you're not breathing in the code, which is them answering you. in the third degree when you're telling them what it's going to be, and they're just talking over whatever you're doing because it's not part of what your parlay says in the first place. So we really got to see what these dry docks with the parlays are really worth to actually be put on the street. And I'll be like, hey, well, you guys got a lot of money. Give us some money on the streets. Give us some. You guys make plenty of money on the side with the people you hire to play the games and win the tournaments. You guys play plenty of money. Or the sports, football people. Don't throw a fit. Don't get ugly. You have plenty of money. You know what I mean? You're like, we work hard. So what? These people right here work on freaking factories that keeps us all having electricity. You don't fucking see them having a fucking marathon show throughout the fucking months. So, they're not getting appraised, and that's way more higher caliber than fucking, football. You start to look at that, you're like, well, if you're going to see it that way, then you got to fucking realize, and you're all connected, that fucking the fucking generator factories fucking define all of you who depend on them to fucking promote what you're doing. So they're worthy of being more appraised than you football players are, basketball players, baseball players. And it's really sad that at these game shows, they're not even fucking game shows, they're parties. They're parties to fucking give the money what they should be giving out to society. But society is a freaking, it's dead. It was never alive because Martin Luther King and Kennedy's got assassinated. So society was alive from the beginning. So that's what they do. They kill hope. They kill hope. But we got to get to the point where we got to we got to kill their hope. We got to reflect on them. And if people start dying who are really important, you let theirs die that are really important. You show your lizard eyes. That's great. That's great. Summon the spirits that eat the white spirit for delectables, that absorb them and know what to do with them because they're infused. Just make them reflect on themselves because they're full of crystals. And that's what they're waiting for you to do. Waiting for you to make a quote or connect to them, make you think that they're part of something to react and be explosive because they're fucking insane and they're just waiting for an excuse to kill you and absorb you and take everything that you have. With that said, you just got to get past it and recognize that, being an individual is fucking delectable to the fucking white spirit. And that's what it does. It herds you. It herds you. The fucking white spirit herds people in groups. You're starting to see it more and more in fucking old school wrestling. I saw old school wrestling. I think it was UFC or something else. But this guy's his eyes turned white. He got possessed, just a little bit. His eyes got fucking white, and that's all that infusion. It's all that fucking infusion from its own piss and shit, from the inbreeding that it had, from fucking killing all the other fucking inbred clones of itself that it didn't fucking want or fucking died, living all these fucking lives just to take all its fucking knowledge to be self-innovating. To fucking kill another creature when it gets hungry, thinking it has that right, because it thinks it's everything, because it's got defeated and fucking erased, but it still has its mentality inside, infused. Basically a walking fucking AIDS, trying to fucking trick you into fucking being alone, to eat you alive, like it's some kind of live cinema, whatever they call it, cinema or whatever, to teach you how to tame us. To kill us. And they're like, no, we don't know what happens after we eat the soul. We don't know. We don't really even think about it because we're alive. You're like, yo, fuck you too, motherfucker. So that's the way it has to be. You have to really start treating these pieces of shit how they're fucking treating us. Like we're nothing. You got to really fucking call them out on their bullshit. I'd be like, listen, we need to see what you're worth, because the Illuminati are supposed to be promoting themselves. But if there's nothing big going on around the States, then there's no reason to have them on the streets. So they freaking hire them into platoons, into dry docks. And then now they're literally going out promoting what the fuck they do inside the fucking dry docks. They're starting to bully people. And they try to make you feel like you're alone. And it's really, really fucking sad how they treat you. They do, because what's going to happen to them is going to be hysterical if you don't join a group. You're like, no, you can't do shit to me because I'm not playing. I'm not fucking free range. I'm not playing the game of whatever you're doing. I can't afford to add another fucking degree when I'm being talked to in the third degree. When I don't appreciate that, but I need a fucking job so that I can buy the shit that I like because I have my own blight. You know, so and even if you did fucking start your own government, what does that really mean if you're fucking just manifesting off of their dream? What about what you want to make it? Well, you use all the money you need to get a nice start, and then after that, you don't bother anybody. You don't bother any that are part of something that's mainstream. But you can still have those who are on welfare benefits and be like, hey, listen, all the money that you use on the welfare benefits, just use that to pay off with the money that you're worth at the charity or the banquet or something, the banquet, you know, the banquet, because they literally go to the banquets. It's no bullshit. They literally go to these banquets and have these notes saying, please don't have an army today because we're stealing money, trying to make an army around the dry docks, waiting for somebody to start something and then have them go on the street saying, no, it's not worthy. Like, really? So you're just you're just the worker bees that come out from the hives and just kill everyone else's freaking joy. You just go and kill everyone's joy because it's not what you're doing. And that's the inbred beehive mentality. Which goes to my theory that the fucking United States is a big giant beehive. It's a big giant beehive, and some demand to be a bigger hive. Because it doesn't matter, just because we're a beehive doesn't mean we have to all look the same. But we are the hive. So if somebody starts shit, we come out from our hive and we fucking take care of it. You know, so we really need to see when they're out there on the streets already. So they don't think they have domain when something new starts without the permission of the United States. So we need to see what they're like already to see how explosive they are. To see how tense they get. You're like, oh my God, look at them. They're all tense and stressed out. Look how pasty they are. How often do you get sun? This is grotesque how you look. It's embarrassing. Like, yeah, I know your job is to play video games, but you should do something else with your time other than just playing video games all day. You make how much money? Go sunbathe. Go to a place and sunbathe. You're like, no, I want to make money and be like them someday. Like, yeah, because you're being heard like the mummies. The money. Where the money's at. The mummies. So stop getting caught up in everything that they do. Like animals. Like mummies. Because if you know how to hunt an animal at some point, it's not even a thrill anymore. It's just hunting mummies. If you know what you're doing. With that said, we really need these dry docks to be on the streets promoting themselves so they can be forced to find out how much money they make and be like, no, you make how much? How much do these football players get? Make so what? They get paid this much money to do something that they like? I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that, but they don't need that much money. They don't need that much money. They can go on the streets and give and help out. But they don't, because what they're really promoting when they're a tardy is greed and selfishness. All of this is going to backfire on their face for those who are individuals, who refuse to be part of the group, to be part of the spirits. You know, don't get caught up in them being able to go invisible, them being able to fly in the air, them being able to manifest whatever you're thinking, them to have orbs of lights that could put you in there and live so many great lives. Don't get caught up in that shit, because that's the same shit. You see that shit anyways on TV. It's just not in a degree that you're used to. So don't be surprised when you see it. You're like, oh, that's great. He can fly. You went invisible. That's nice. You know? Oh, that's, you know, just look at it like you're some, like, Arabian guy that just sees it every fucking day. Just doesn't talk about, oh, that's cute. Just look at it like that. Like it ain't shit. Because that's how they look at us. They're just expecting us to give them energy. To talk about them. So they can go mainstream on the multi-galaxies and fucking have people talking about them more. They are the most pitiful fucking things around. because they don't help out. They just keep taking. And every time things don't go their way on the fucking top, they have the audacity to have a fucking complaint. And they say, well, we're complaining in a more efficient way. That's basically mocking you of them not being slaves, reminding you when you're using incorrect grammar or whatever it is. And even if you do, you're like, well, you know what? I'm going to talk at my own. I talk bilingual. Okay? If that makes everyone feel better, I talk bilingual. I'm going to talk at my own pace. And as long as you understand me, that's great. So here's my point that I like to make. I'm going to talk bilingual. That way I don't have to talk in the third person in the third degree. So I'm going to talk towards myself in a retro aspect of mixed words that's not defining anyone. I'm just speaking towards myself. And they're going to be like, oh, you can't be, oh, there's another quote. You can't have that. You can't have this. So quotes are more powerful than law, right? Then quotes start becoming more powerful than law. Saying you can't do this because of the law of the blah, blah, blah. Okay, so if I go over there, well, you can't do this because of the blah, blah. So we're just following quotes. Going to fucking dry dock to Paloon, and you're just fucking singing a song when you're going over there with them. A crisis line shouldn't be more than one. Shouldn't be more than one. A crisis line, you shouldn't have more than one crisis line. You're like, the chances of the same dry dock or platoon going down, you know, when something happens, you're like, I need help, you know, something happened. Like, how many helplines do you need, really? Just call the fucking police. That's just the only helpline you need. Don't call the police. You don't need to call the whole army when you have to go on the streets and promote yourselves like true elites. Or are you afraid you're going to start acting like the fucking Nazis when you get too used to it on the fucking holograms? That's what it is, right? That's what they're afraid of, right? They're afraid of them going in the fucking holograms and fucking getting used to all that shit and literally living lives like, I know how to do it, man. I know how to do it. It's like, it's not the same. It's always in fluctuating. You're in a different frame, bro. You're living a dream. Get out of it. He's like, but I know so many ways that can make it look like it's normal, but really we're marching. So that's probably one of the reasons why it's not loud on the streets, because it's too political on the multi galaxies with the crystals and diamonds constantly bouncing off each other with the micro verses inside, constantly just conjuring. So that's probably one of the main reasons why it's not on the streets, is because it gets so fucking ugly that they all want power that they'll start marching like fucking Nazis again. You get the fucking brown pride, black power, fucking KKK, fucking all of them, Japanese, everything, marching on the streets, promoting what they are. You're like, dude, it's fucking marching. They're fucking marching. You know, I'm like, dude, you got to get the permission of the fucking everybody. You got permission from everybody, dude, before you do something like that. You're like, no, you can't get it from your platoons because it's fucking family made. And you're like, oh, you just need this many. And that's too fucking convenient. When they have their own fucking platoons, then they can literally fucking create and manifest with having teams. You're like, no, it's too fucking biased. It's too fucking biased having these platoons and these fucking parlays and dry docks all fucking intersync with each other because they can just fucking make their own law with only needing fucking 10,000. And that's the issue with this. The fucking quote becomes more powerful than the fucking law. We're all going to have to really just start looking at them how they look at us, like pieces of shit. All right. I'm going to kind of leave it at that. And y'all have a good ones.